In the land of ancient Egypt, where the hot sun beat down on the golden sands and the mighty Nile flowed steadily through the desert, there lived a god unlike any other. Anubis, the god of mummification and the afterlife, was a figure both revered and feared by the people of Egypt. With the head of a jackal and the body of a man, he cut a striking figure as he roamed the underworld, guiding the souls of the departed to their final resting place. Anubis was a solitary figure, often seen prowling the desolate plains of the afterlife, his keen eyes scanning the horizon for any sign of trouble. His role in the divine hierarchy was a vital one, for without his careful guidance, the souls of the dead would never find their way to the afterlife. It was a responsibility he took very seriously, and he performed his duties with unwavering diligence. One day, as Anubis was making his rounds in the underworld, he came across a young woman unlike any he had ever seen before. She was clad in tattered robes, and her eyes shone with a fierce determination. She seemed out of place in this desolate realm, and Anubis approached her with a mixture of curiosity and caution. "Who are you, and what brings you to this place?" Anubis asked, his voice resonating through the still air of the underworld. The young woman met his gaze without fear, her eyes locking onto his with a fierce intensity. "I am Nefertari," she replied, her voice steady and strong. "I have come to seek your help, Anubis, for I have a task of great importance that I must complete." Anubis regarded her with a mixture of surprise and interest. It was rare for mortals to seek him out in the underworld, and he could sense that there was something extraordinary about this young woman. "What task could possibly be so important that it brings you to the realm of the dead?" he inquired. "Cursed be the day I laid eyes on you, Anubis," Nefertari said, her voice trembling with suppressed emotion. "For it is your very realm that has stolen my love from me." Anubis regarded her with a mixture of surprise and concern. "What do you mean, Nefertari? How has the realm of the dead wronged you?" Nefertari's eyes glistened with unshed tears as she recounted her tale. "Ka'emwaset, my beloved, was a noble warrior who fell in battle defending our land. His valor was unmatched, and his heart pure. But when his time came to pass into the afterlife, the treacherous god Set snatched his soul away, claiming him for his own nefarious purposes. Now Ka'emwaset languishes in the clutches of Set, his spirit tormented by the god's dark designs." Anubis listened to Nefertari's words with a heavy heart. The mention of Set's involvement sent a shiver down his spine, for he knew all too well the malevolent nature of the god of chaos. Yet, despite the inherent dangers, he also recognized the sincerity and desperation in Nefertari's plea. Her love for Ka'emwaset was palpable, and Anubis found himself moved by her unwavering determination to rescue him from a fate worse than death. "Nefertari," Anubis said, his voice resonating with solemnity, "the path you seek to Triad is fraught with peril. Set's domain is a place of darkness and treachery, and few mortals have dared to challenge his authority. To defy him is to court almost certain doom." "I care not for the dangers, Anubis," Nefertari declared, her eyes blazing with determination. "I will not rest until I have freed Ka'emwaset from the clutches of that vile deity. I implore you, great god, lend me your aid in this endeavor." Anubis regarded her for a long moment, his keen eyes reflecting the flickering torchlight of the underworld. In that shadowed realm, where the boundary between life and death blurred, he sensed a glimmer of hope amidst the despair. Here was a mortal whose love defied the boundaries of mortality, a love that burned brighter than the eternal flames of the afterlife. "Very well, Nefertari," Anubis said at last, his voice grave yet resolute. "I will aid you in your quest to rescue Ka'emwaset from Set's clutches, but know this, the road ahead will be perilous, and the trials we face will test the very limits of our resolve. Are you prepared to face the terrors of the underworld and challenge the might of a god?" Nefertari's eyes shone with an unyielding resolve as she met Anubis's gaze. "I am ready, Anubis. I will not falter, for my love gives me strength beyond measure. Together, we will confront Set and free Ka'emwaset from his clutches." With a solemn nod, Anubis led the way into the heart of Set's domain, where the very fabric of reality seemed to warp and twist. They traversed winding corridors and crossed shadowed chambers, where the oppressive weight of Set's influence bore down upon them. At long last, they reached the inner sanctum, where Set awaited them with a menacing presence that seemed to fill the very air with foreboding. His eyes glinted with a malevolent light, and a cruel smile played upon his lips as he regarded the intruders in his domain. "Anubis, you dare to bring a mortal into my realm?" Set's voice rumbled like distant thunder, laced with a cruel mockery. "And for what purpose do you trespass upon my domain?" Anubis stood resolute, his gaze unwavering. "We come to challenge your hold over the soul of Kayamwaset, Set. Nefertari seeks to free her beloved from your clutches, and I stand with her in this endeavor." Set's laughter echoed through the chamber, a sound that sent shivers down their spines. "You are bold indeed to challenge me, Anubis," Set sneered. "But I am the Lord of Chaos, and none may defy my will." Nefertari stepped forward, her voice steady and strong. "I care not for your boasts, Set." Set's eyes gleamed with a cruel aura of primal power that seemed to warp the very fabric of reality. Drawing upon her inner strength, Nefertiti called upon the divine energy that flowed within her, her spirit blazing with a radiant light that pushed back against the encroaching darkness. Anubis, ever watchful, stood ready at her side, his gaze unwavering as he prepared to lend his wisdom and protection to aid Nefertari in the coming struggle. The battle that followed was a clash of titanic forces, a struggle that reverberated through the very foundations of the realm. Set unleashed his dark powers, conjuring nightmarish illusions and unleashing ferocious entities to assail them. But Nefertari and Anubis fought back with a courage born of righteousness and divine purpose. Together, they waged a heroic battle, their spirits intertwined in a symphony of determination and valor. In the end, it was Nefertari's unyielding spirit and Anubis's unwavering support that proved to be the key to their victory. With a final surge of divine energy, Nefertari confronted Set, her radiant light piercing through the darkness and banishing his malevolence from the realm. Set's influence dissipated like morning mist before the sun. Nefertari and Anubis emerged triumphant, their courage and unity having vanquished the forces of darkness and restored balance to the realm. Their journey had been one of unwavering resolve, steadfast companionship, and the triumph of light over darkness. And in the end, they emerged as beacons of hope in a world that had been threatened by the shadows.